Hey, hello everybody who has joined our webinar today, and thanks a lot for finding some time at this snowy and maybe not so snowy Saturday to find out a little bit more about the fintech and about the ways of transforming your company into the digital domain. This is the main aspect of what we're going to talk about right now, and currently this is the main topic that possibly interests lots of people all around the globe who are currently working with their companies and possibly keep working with some previous projects as well. First of all, anyway, before we get started, I want to tell that this specific webinar is going to be oriented specifically at those who have the financial business, but it doesn't mean that this is the only related thing, because you technically can apply these approaches to anything you want to. You technically can have the same things for your marketing business. You technically can have the same for your real estate business, etc. Anything that, in your opinion, can be digitalized has to be applicable in that case as well. Anyway, before we get started, let me first introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Bogdan, and I am the marketing wizard and the product manager in INSART. And for more than 3 years, I've been working as the software developer, and I got a deep understanding of how the things work from outside and from the inside as well of the financial products, how the operations are happening, how the main financial systems are working, etc. And then I just realized that my main interest is transforming the products into something better by providing a little bit more information and usefulness for the customers. And after that, I have switched mostly to the marketing because that part was a little bit more suitable to me as the past developer to understand how the things work. And now I'm using all these observations as the part of my common understanding of what should we do in terms of developing any business and specifically transforming the financial services into the complicated fintech unicorns. So that's as well something we're going to be talking about. Anyway, why do you need to try to adapt your business? Well, possibly only the lazy ones have not yet described how COVID pushed fintech and among other industries to change gears and hit it online as well. And the crisis that we're part has only added some fuel to the already increased one-click and cashless financial experience, because obviously nobody wanted to pay for some services with cash or even to have the head-to-head contact in any cases. And then we got the post-lockdown, which increased the mobility and the repercussions for Russian invasion that we got in Ukraine as well, and the sanctions compliance happened. And this all pressed for greater financial freedom and also tighter control simultaneously as well. And all those aspects are pretty crucial in this case, and we need to pay attention to those. And like a 100-ton train racing on the rails, technology is technically the creation that keeps on pulling us forward to some new solutions, right? To some new decisions and the ways of how we can solve the problems. So as well, we keep pace with digital transformation by technically adopting and maybe sometimes developing some financial technologies, or even if you don't do this, you just fall behind the competition. Here are several important things to take a look at the DX, how it's called, or the digital transformation market in numbers, in some forecasts, and in some upcoming values as well. So first of all, the market value is expected to reach an absolutely incredible number by 2025. And even the upcoming recession everybody's talking about is not expected to make that a problem. Moreover, more and more new enterprise applications are showing up on the market, and AI technologies that are being provided, hello ChatGPT, are also expected to improve these processes in a pretty complicated and huge way. Finally, 70% of companies, they either have a digital transformation strategy or currently working on one. So again, if you are not from the list of those, you are just gonna be falling behind, and that might be a pretty serious problem that you might have. Anyway, I'm gonna try a little bit to sell these things to you as well, talking about the main benefits of why you need to go into the high tech in case you have not done this yet. So with the severe inflation and some rising cost of living, people in the United States obviously seek for more flexibility and the optimization when it comes to saving and spending as well. And fintech companies are the ones made here to help mostly, because financial institutions usually haste to digitalize and to upgrade, and wherever it's possible, they do this. So here I would like just to list the main benefits that your company might get and achieve when you are trying to go into the high tech. So first of all, it is all about the competitive speed, because being faster and being more efficient, having some up-to-date solutions, it all allows you to stay competitive. And obviously, the less time your customers will spend in transferring money or maybe getting their lending applications approved, the more is likeness that they will remain loyal to your brand. Like, they don't want to waste your money, and you help them also not to waste their time. But here's also another benefit, is that with some real data harvesting and some things like processing, you get a strategic advantage, because technically embracing technology to the data-driven value lets you reap insights on customers and behavior on them, and make the processing of this data is a little bit faster as well. And this is a pretty complicated and interesting key to keeping up your offering value unique, because you know your customer as much as possible, and that helps you a lot during the process. Another thing to talk about is something like an enhanced security. Obviously, security is something that emerges or pops up every 2 or 3 years when some new malware comes on into the play. But anyway, that's something you have to think all the time. And solid protection of your customers' funds, for example, or about the personal data, currently it's impossible without measures like monitoring some millions of transactions, some suspicious activity, etc. And if you want to enable these measures, you technically need a trusted provider who's going to be robust in your cybersecurity solutions. And that's the main thing that you have to take into play as well. Finally, it's about optimized spending, because technically legacy solutions, they are slowly eating your budget because they're old, they are hardly to support, etc. And sometimes it just becomes too hard and costly to maintain them. So just think of how much money you could save had you decided to replace them with technology that fits the need, that can optimize your budget, that can simplify the things. This is about optimization of spendings. And finally, it's also about the customer and employee satisfaction as well, because technically any technology implementation is about making your market easier. And streamlined and clear workflows are also the ones of the things that make employees stay, while all-in-all solutions automate away the lengthy and some tedious processes, and that can help you win the dollars of the users too. And that's quite important thing to pay attention at. Technically, here you can see the overall story of the customer and employee satisfaction, because all of those things that we have just discussed are providing on the basis of some sort of the benefits of your digital transformation for fintechs. So first of all, you're getting some sort of increased lending flexibility. On the other hand, you have an updated customer audience and updated target audience as well, because it simplifies the way you process them. Finally, you have some improved customer experience, because it's much easier to work with the people when you make their experience fast and easy. And also, obviously, you have a more effective fraud prevention, which is a quite important thing as well, because you are technically caring about the security. But anyway, let's talk about the transforming your company into fintech, because obviously in 2023, a financial company's success will mostly be dependent on its ability to predict the customer needs, to create effortless and compliant user experience, and also to go with the behavior flow as well. And if you want to achieve all of the things, you'll need to keep up with the next word of technology. And also you need to optimize your company accordingly. So that could encompass changes to some business models, that could create a strategy for going next gen with products and services. And moreover, that is about forging your new value chains and establishing the new connections that allow you to make the transformation a complicated, but at the same time, a simple and easygoing process. And to make a leap in digital, you'll technically need a thorough preparation, obviously. This is not something happening in one day, and the Rome was not built in a day as well. But here are some several steps for your digital transformation. And let's talk about it a little bit more. So we have this diagram, which is about some critical aspects that you might need understanding how to transform your company, how to visualize your process, and how to grow technologically to offer some competitive product as well. So first of all, you need to answer one quick question. Why are you transforming in the first place? Why are you want to do this? Why are you establishing some budgets for your transformation? What is the purpose of you doing this transformation at all? Like, what's the case? Why do you do this? Maybe you don't need. Maybe you are okay staying a family-sized business with like 3 or 4 clients that will stick to you for 30 years. But what's going to happen next? Do you want to build a complicated legacy that will live long after you, that will outlive most of your generations? Or do you just want to have like the thing of your life that will die with you and will go away with you as well? There are much of such companies in the market. So you have to identify whether you really need the digital transformation. Is it something you really care about, or is it just you following some trends of the time without really understanding why you're doing it? Second, you have to get ready for corporate culture change, because digital is about and for people. And obviously, this is about the customer success that we are following most of the times right now. But at the same time, here is a pretty serious problem that technically, unfortunately, nowadays, if you're ready to go digital, that means that you have to answer the customer requests in a moment. You will need to be happy and to be ready to make your customer happy. You need to be ready to solve their problems related to your tech stuff, because possibly this is something that will not work out in the way that you expect. And you need to answer another question, like, are you ready to prepare for this corporate culture change? Are you sure that this is something that's going to happen? Do you want this to happen at all or not? Because if you are not, then possibly you are in big trouble and you will not be able to improve and to complicate this process just because this is not the way how the things work. And if it's not the way how the things work, you cannot make them last longer. And that's the painful point here as well. Anyway, at the same time, you need to map a start area. You should move one step at a time. Don't try to rush by several rabbits at one time, because you will not just be able to cover everything at once. You cannot be doing the website development, the YouTube development, the LinkedIn development, and at the same time improve your new financial product that will gather some analytics. It's just impossible, especially if you are new to the world of financial transformations and if you need to identify how do you do this. The next one is pretty related to the previous, but you have to be extremely picky about the tech solutions. You need to choose the technologies that serves your strategy. It's not about somebody being working with the technology and you following that because that's trend. It's about you making sure that this specific technology will make you enough money. Otherwise, this is something you'll just waste your money on. Just a simple example. If you are working with the customers who usually provide their requests via the personal computer or via their web browser, there is no need for you to jump into the React Native development just because it's popular and you want to have a mobile application. Your customers will not use your mobile application just because this is something they don't need, and you have to understand that. So be able to pick the right tech solution. If you cannot pick the right tech solution, make sure that you are finding somebody who can do that for you, who is specialized enough, have enough expertise. And also be pretty careful, because finding the right technical solution usually is not just about being a good developer or being a good development team, but also about understanding how the fintech works at all. So make sure that you find the correct company that provides this. By the way, INSART is the one, and I cannot not to tell that. So if you have any project, if you have something you'd like to work with, please contact us, insart.com. We're happy to help you implementing your financial solution in any way possible. Let's move forward. Partner up. You cannot be the same warrior on the field. You are not the one. There are lots of people who are trying to empower different changes into their view, into their process, into their understanding of the aspects. And you can join your forces. You can share your vision with the people who are the same seekers. You need to identify how are you working in that area together, because it's always much easier to work with somebody who can help you instead of just trying to figure out something on your own, waste your money, jumping on again in the train, understanding that you're doing something wrong again, and doing that over and over and over again. It doesn't have to work like that. It will not work like that, moreover. So just make sure that you are following the right strategy. And as soon as you do, you will be able to make it work. Next, you have to learn and adjust. Obviously, the digital transformation is not something that will start bringing you money on the second day, and even on the third day, and even in half a year. Well, in half a year, possibly, because it's about a pretty complicated process where you'll be learning a lot, where you'll be implementing new features, and there is a strict possibility that you might be losing something. Make sure that you are not losing the things you work with just because technically, and maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's not, but you have to face the fact you're not an ideal one in this case. And you will be making mistakes just as in any business that you might jump into. So just get ready for that, make flexibility, and make sure that your advantage is you being able to learn on your mistakes, to reflect on those, and to move forward without making them once again. So make sure that you are doing the things in the correct way and keep moving forward. Finally, embrace the change. You have to explore different emerging areas and you need to seek for the growth areas. If, for example, you are providing some financial planning services, you maybe want to automatize your customer survey process. Because as the person who has a personal portfolio manager, I know how painful this process is. Like when you just start working and you go through this list of stupid questions like, okay, what is your monthly income? What is your yearly income? What are you saving for? How much money do you have in your bank account, etc.? It is just useless. I hate doing that, honestly. And that's the same thing that has been applicable here. You should not do that in your way. Just because you can automatize this process. You can automatize the time of your manager. You can automatize the frustration, and you can disable the whole frustration that your customer might get answering these questions, because sometimes they're quite uncomfortable, and that's pretty fine as well. So you can implement some sort of the survey here that will help you answer your questions, and that will explain why do you need to improve the things in how many different ways you can do this. So you have to be the changes seeker. You have to be the one looking for the variants of how can this be improved. And you should be the one who will identify in which direction you will go, but again, one step at a time. So just going through these all steps again. First, make sure everyone is on the same page as to why you transform. You have to set concrete and you have to set measurable goals of what you want to achieve. Otherwise, you might fail. Second, a lot of communication and learning is bound to happen. And make sure that you prepare the ground as a tech leader, because you are the one moving your boat forward. And you have to make sure that everybody will be following the same approach as you. Next, you have to choose wisely where to start. And you have to determine the initiative you begin with as well. So it must have some strategic meaning, and you may not spread thin in this case. So make sure that this strategic meaning is concrete and you're moving in a specified direction in exactly the way you want to. Next one, map out your technology. Again, you have to compare your products. You have to do the vendor search. You have to find for the right player in your game and see if the solution is scalable according to your long-term strategy or not. Otherwise, you have to switch this solution. Find the partners. Tech partner is the one that understands your growth line and helps you see the hidden opportunities. And this is the priceless thing. You need to find such a partner. Otherwise, it's going to be much harder for you to reach something interesting. Next, learn, refine, repeat. The road to tech security is pretty bumpy always, and only some things will work and fit in seamlessly. So you have to prepare to learn and you have to prepare to make some adjustments. Otherwise, it will just not work out in the way that you want to. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're refining, make sure you're repeating the process. And finally, get ready to scale. As soon as you build this rocket, it will fly up higher and it will be moving further and further and further, up and up above. And new areas of improvement will always emerge with your business. And it is always important not to get stuck with what you have already got, but also to keep moving forward. Because again, if you build all the process correctly, your rocket will skyrocket you to the sky. Sorry for the tautology, but that's like that. And we have seen a bunch of different companies like that who have started as a small financial company. They've been providing financial services, but damn, they have moved into the huge process. They have made it a absolutely crazy transformation, and they made it in an incredible way of how nobody did before. So summing it all up, technology is being created by people, and always it is being created for people as well. So it is quite essential to keep their needs in mind, but always to be there and your clients or employees, and to advance technologically, not just for the sake of moving forward. If you are trying to move forward just because this is the tendency of the trend, it is not going to work out. It will not work in the way that you want to. And you have to get ready for it. Just as crucial is to find partners as well. You cannot make a transformation on your own, because this is a long and a pretty complicated and hard and time-taking process. And I'm not trying to scare you in this case, because obviously I can just say like, hey, yeah, this is a complicated thing, it will take some time, etc. But hey, this is what about business is built about. And you gotta get ready for that. So for you, it is crucial to find the people who gonna be sharing your vision and moving in this goal, and who gonna try to help you to understand what's gonna happen next, how am I gonna move forward, how I'm gonna make it work, and why. And this is a pretty interesting thing that you have to work around. Finally, don't be scared of changes, because this is just a regular process. And again, if you don't want to stick around and to live just as the company that provides the business on your local region, that is not moving forward, that is just gonna move out after their founders will pass out, then this is something you have to pay attention at. You have to be ready to embrace your changes. And you need to look for chances as well. Other thing is that financial freedom is not a buzzword, and you need a time-tested expertise to help you discover the new horizons in fintech. You need to find the way of understanding how the technology work nowadays at all, and why do they work in that way. Otherwise, it's not gonna be the way of formulating your final achievement. And that's quite important, because you have to, again, understand what technology are you trying to follow. Here's a pretty interesting trick that, according to the latest discussions and to the latest researches that have been made in 2021, 2022, the speed of operating and the speed of impulsive thoughts that are being made when a person makes any purchase has speeded up to like 30%. We, again, after COVID, we got used to paying with the PayPass. We got used to on non-contactable delivery, when we are just ordering something and we get it at our doors without even contacting the courier service. And people got used to it. This is something like a sugar that is going through our veins right now, because this simplifies our life. Like, come on, I can open up my mobile phone, I can open up the Amazon, I can click and find something there, and that would be enough for me. And Amazon did an excellent thing here. And that's another example of a pretty awesome financial technology improvement. You don't need to verify your payments using Amazon every single time, like you do that on a Ticketmaster, or like you do that ordering some food or something else. You just click one button, which is place an order, and that's it. When the order is being shipped, you will get your money charged from your card. If you clicked something unintentionally, you can always contact Amazon and ask them like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I did something wrong, I want to cancel my payment, and that will be enough. But the main idea is that the guys have simplified the process as much as possible, just by implementing a one pay single solution. And this is the simplest case that can be used. Finally, we have already spoke about partners, but obviously this is not an easy road. And we, as the financial technology company that transforms the financial companies into unicorns, at INSART, we are ready to help. We have a bunch of different solution development teams that have an expertise in CRM integration, payment automations, simplifying the process of transferring the data service, data analytics, investments, etc. We are on the market for almost 30 years, and we understand in a pretty awesome way on how we are going to help your business get transformed. So we are happy to help, and we are happy to have you possibly as our new client as well. So don't be afraid to schedule a quick call if you want with us. Go to the form in the bottom in the description. And yeah, that's all I wanted to share today. This was a quite simple one, but you have to think of transforming your business, especially as long as the storm is coming. Finally, there is a text version of this webinar in the format of an article that I will attach in the bottom in the description as well. So if you want to go through it in the text format, or if you want to take a thought of whether you want to have something like that or not, just check out the link in the description, and that's it. Just as I said, my name is Bogdan. I'm the marketing wizard of INSART, and I'm really grateful for you spending some time with me today talking about the business transformation, because I'm pretty sure that business transforming is something you will need a lot in this upcoming era of digital updates. Thank you